Welcome to Unscripted Coding. A few weeks ago, I saw an announcement right here in which Character AI started allowing for character group chats. Now, what does that even mean? Well, Character AI is a series of AI chatbots that take the persona of various characters from anime, from movies, from video games, and others. And so I thought this was a really, really cool idea in which you can start adding two people from different universes together to see how they would interact. And so you can put, I don't know, Albert Einstein and let's see, who else is in here? Socrates together into a single chat. And see how they interact. I thought that was very fascinating. Now, Character AI has this kind of in a locked beta behind a paywall. Not interested in doing that. And so I started looking at what else is out there. And Silly Tavern seems to be an open source front end for you to create basically Character AI type of applications in which you can have a conversation with one or many chatbots together. Now hold on a second before you stop this video. The practical use case of this isn't to see how Mario and Elon Musk would have a conversation. It's to have a conversation in which you can put a lot of useful characters and personas together. Now, my limited imagination, and I haven't seen other people really do this yet, is have a chat group in which you have a marketing expert, a legal expert, a people and culture, human resources expert, and a finance expert. I'm thinking in the lens of I'm a business owner, I can't afford all these people on my team, but I want to brainstorm and I want to see what they're thinking of. If you are designing an app, you might give these folks personas of a back-end developer, a front-end developer, a architect, a data architect. Put them all into a chat group and talk about a specific app you're building, a specific tool you're building. And so together, it's actually quite interesting. You get all of these personas put together, and it's not just that. With Silly Tavern, you can actually use a lore book, and so you can define terms like unscripted coding, my YouTube channel. If you ask OpenAI what that is, it would have no clue. I am not a big enough phenomena for it to pick up on that, but I can define it right in the world about what unscripted coding is, maybe some terminology specific to me, some inside jokes, whatever. And I can start having this conversation in a natural way where they're interacting with each other and even automatically having conversations together. And so I just turned on auto mode and the lawyer is going to start talking. He called the meeting apparently and is asking a whole lot of things. So the lawyer is taking charge right here. He's asking everyone to chime in, but I'm going to say I'm in charge here, and what I want to talk about is creating a online merchandise store tied to unscripted coding. Let me know what your first thoughts are. And as I click enter, we're going to see different people chime in. The lawyer seems to be, and I gave him a more aggressive personality here. And so he's picking up new revenue stream, helping brand promotion. He's worried about securing agreements with manufacturers, consumer compliance laws. Great for him. Human resources, I don't know if this requires a lot about him, but hiring new team members, that makes sense. I'm looking at you, marketing guy, and see what he has to say. And so, again, let me zoom in further and hopefully you can follow this through. He's providing a different perspective, let's start using funny puns and whatever, use tech accessories. I mean, that all makes sense. I'm talking about unscripted coding. What can I sell? Sure, funny t-shirts, but he makes a good point. Maybe I should sell USB drives. Maybe I should sell tech tools. This can go on for a bit, and one of the really fun things I like about it is that they are bouncing off each other now. I don't even really have to pay attention. They are suggesting, they're asking different people, and they're bringing in, they're taking the initiative to continue this conversation. And I can even ask, for the conversation just to continue here. So that is a grand plan, and I'm going to show you exactly how to build this because it is incredibly simple with Silly Tavern. Installing Silly Tavern is pretty simple. You are basically installing Node.js, downloading these files, and double-clicking a file. The idea behind all of it is that you are creating a Node.js server that serves the right HTML files, the right website for you to interact. By the end of it, you have something you can access through a web browser. So to install it, go on the Silly Tavern GitHub page, and you'll get a link to the actual website, sillytavern.app. I recommend going through the documentation, taking a look at the installation. You can see that it's mainly geared for desktop. Windows, Mac OS, Linux, they can install Node.js. In theory, Android can as well. You're not going to install, a Silly Tavern app. You are using Termux to run Node.js as a long-running process, and then you're going to access it again through a web browser. So not ideal, probably a desktop operation here. Even within Windows, you have a couple options. Now, for those of you familiar with it, GitHub Desktop is probably the easiest way. That keeps you synced up with their latest version, GitHub. But today, I'm going to scroll all the way down to the zip download. Again, all three are really the same thing. The big difference here is if you use GitHub or Git, you can very easily synchronize a file, keep Silly Tavern up to date. Now, since I'm doing this as a demonstration here, I am going to get an empty folder here. I have the Silly Tavern file downloaded. So I went to GitHub, went to releases, downloaded the latest source code, and what I'm going to do is drag and drop the file in here. You can put it anywhere you want. I think they recommend, obviously don't put it in, the Windows installation files or any kind of sensitive place, but you can put it on your downloads page, your desktop, wherever you want. From there, and let's just take a look, we are going to run start.bat. So double click, and we have over here start.bat. I am going to run anyways, and what this is going to do is just install a few of the required files, and you can dig into it with the packages to take a look at what's being installed, but these are all Node.js packages. And as far as I'm concerned, it's not massive. It's a couple hundred megabytes in total, but it is not massive. About 30 seconds or a minute later, you're going to see all the files are installed. There really isn't that much that's added. And then you're asked to log in or go to the right web page. Let me just zoom in here. For whatever reason, this time around, it has told me to go to 0.0.0.0, and it didn't quite work. So you want to go to 127.0.0.1 import 8000. And when you do, you're going to see this interface. Now, it is a bit to look at, and we're going to walk through it very, very quickly. But you're going to have all sorts of settings here. This is a major setting about how chat is going to happen. You have fonts and themes. Themes would be over here. Let's do... I like a bit of a beach day today. And there seems to be other options as well. Extensions, being able to connect to Stable Diffusion to generate images, being able to translate, use text-to-speech. But, and you know what, one more I like, nope. I'm going to use this theme. We're going to go through these in a sec, but the most important one is you do need to connect to some sort of AI API, some chatbot. You have your options. They definitely push some of the more open source versions, but I am a big fan of OpenAI. Generally speaking, GPT4, very hard to beat, but also costs a lot more. What we're going to do is we are going to put in a key. This is my OpenAI key. Don't even bother. I'm going to deactivate it right after I post this video. But we have a working key, and we're going to choose a model. As I said, GPT-4 is great, but it does cost a lot of money. We're going to try GPT 3.5 for now, and we're going to connect. Perfect. And I'm going to check off this one, so every time I go on the website, it's going to automatically connect to OpenAI. From there, I thought I had... Okay, I'm going to choose a... Let's just go back to black. Less distracting. From here, you're going to see that you have your own persona. So Anson, that's me, and I can kind of describe myself, Romanian cat girl, not quite an accurate description for me, but let's say Anson is a YouTuber who creates videos on programming. And we also have a couple of different options for default bots. And so Coding Assistant is cool. I wonder what Flux the cat is. And we could say, hello. And you're going to see a response. Where are we going from here? Well, we are going to try and get group chat working. When you dive down into the options of Silly Tavern, you'll realize this is very much meant to play games, role-playing. You are creating characters, the world and lore books. It's very much a Dungeons and Dragons-esque type of thing, but we can leverage this for other uses as well. So first of all, I'm going to zoom out a little bit. We can create new characters. So I am just going to plus character and call this guy marketing guy. And I'm just going to say this guy is obsessed with marketing and leads our marketing department. He will provide good feedback about business plans and how to market products. Nice and simple, very generic. Hi, how can I help? And you can imagine we can certainly tweak the prompts and the descriptions more and more. But we will create this guy, save him, and here we have marketing guy. And I am going to put HR guy, and I probably should have copied and pasted this instead. So add new guy, HR guy, description, hi, what's up? This guy is obsessed with HR and leads our people and culture department. He will provide feedback about business plans and how your people and staff might react. Again, we can dive into greater details, but here is where the magic happens. We can create a new chat group, And we are just going to add different people in here. We're going to add HR guy and marketing guy, and I'm going to call it the dream team. Now what's cool is that you can specify a couple different options here. A natural order of group reply strategy, and let me just zoom in further so you can see. Over here, group reply strategy talks about how people respond. You can have list order, which means every time you ask a question, marketing guy replies, then HR, then marketing guy, then HR, kind of like everybody takes their turn. But I would like it more natural, like a conversation. If I'm not talking to marketing guy, if I have 5 or 10 people in this chat group, I don't want marketing guy chiming in, every 5th, 10th message. So natural order, only when it relates to him, only when he needs to chime in. And I'm going to allow self-responses, which means that I don't have to keep prompting these people to talk. And I think that's a real magic as well. Part of the chat, and part of why AI chatbots feel so artificial, is they respond instantly to me and me alone. But having a group where they can kind of respond to each other is kind of interesting as well. I wish we could create something that creates delay, that emulates people thinking and taking their time. But for now, just being able to interact with one another is quite cool. Let me zoom back out. And I think we are good. So, how do I save this? Nope. There we go. And I've created a group. And here, hi, how can, nope, come back. Hey guys, I want to push a new product internally. It's a new t-shirt for our staff. And over here we have, a suggestion for how we can market this internally. Kind of cool. Marketing guy can keep continuing. We can have it create another one, create another suggestion. I think what I'm trying to do here, here we go. In the hamburger menu, we could say continue and just prompt them to keep talking. What do you think, HR guy? And HR guy will respond. There could be greater interaction. See, marketing guy is now responding to HR guy. And this is a lot of text, a lot of fluff for just sending out t-shirts. But we're going to keep diving even deeper here. If we create a world or a lore book, we can create a new one. I'm going to call it Anson's Business. We can start adding new entries. So, when certain keywords are hit, we are going to access this content, meaning that every time you say something, maybe internal lingo, maybe my business name, and maybe something else entirely, an inside joke, you can create a lore book that will then be injected into the chat in the back, invisible to you, but that way the team knows about it. So let's call it Unscripted Coding. That is the keyword. And this is Anson's YouTube channel, where he creates programming videos in an unscripted fashion. Whatever. Very simple. We are going to I don't think I need to click anything here. It's already saved. Good. We are going to come into the group and add a lore book. So we're going to talk about Anson's business. And now I'm going to say, what do you think of unscripted coding? In any other context, most people would not understand what that means at all. And here, this person is picking it up. Unscripted coding has great potential. Channels focus on programming. So clearly, it's picking up that information and able to give a bit more context to it. So pairing these up, I think the group chat with the lore books can create a really interesting experience, even internally for serious usage. Now, again, everything here has been geared very much for role-playing, Dungeons and Dragons kind of thing. I think even the basic one, I've never seen it before, but this Eldoria sounds like it must be like a fantasy world. So I'm kind of curious now. In which Eldoria is, soft light, all of the woods, blah, blah, blah. What is this? Shadowfang. And you can keep creating more and more of these definitions. So anytime, the word glade comes up, it's going to inject this into the chat somewhere so that OpenAI knows what it means. And that's really all there is to it. Now, we've done a really crummy job of adding these guys together, just HR, marketing, but we can create more people with more interesting backgrounds. So if we come back to this character card, we can start creating personas for them as well. So this is HR person, this person is marketing. He loves marketing, but he also likes playing video games on the weekend. He has 2 kids. Create a persona that colors their language, colors their perspective as well. And you can have more people, you can have more lore books, you can have multiple entries in those lore books, and you can really build out almost a fake team. And the reason why I find this so interesting is because I don't think I've seen very many people tap into this. If we look at character AI, everyone's doing this mostly for fun. Maybe the psychologist is a serious use case, but the rest of these are just, video game characters, movie characters. And I get the appeal of the fun, but we can make real use cases out of this. I keep thinking, as a small business, you don't have access to legal HR marketing. Usually you are one person with a very narrow focus. And so far I have asked AI chatbots to give me different points of views, to help brainstorm, to just get myself out of my own train of thought. But if you have dedicated people that step into roles, it adds a different dimension, because if I put legal in, they're always very negative, very aware of risks. If I put someone like marketing, they're much more positive. It's a different viewpoint. Anyways, I hope that was interesting, because Silly Tavern is so simple to set up. I should warn you that GPT is kind of expensive. So if you use GPT4 especially, that all of this adds up. So every time you create a message, you think triple, quadruple, quintuple what you normally would be paying if you did a normal chatbot, because you're adding so much text to it. At the start of the conversation, you are giving them these guys, the background for these fictional characters. You are giving it lore books when it comes up. You are also you're also creating this history. So all of these things actually add a lot to what you send. So in this case, I might think I'm just sending, what is that, 7 words, 8 words, 7 words to OpenAI, and that's how many tokens. But in reality, you're sending this history with them. You're sending parts of the lore book about unscripted coding. You're sending who my own persona is, who marketing guy is, and with the group chat, it expands quite significantly. So even a very short chat I have found with GPT-4 to cost $1, $2 just to have a quick brainstorming session. If we do ChatGPT 3.5, it might be 10 cents, 20 cents, very very, very quickly, very easily, and so you can rack up quite a bill. It's probably why you want to look at other chat completion tools as well. But for now, I think GPT-4 is the gold standard. That's how I would be building it out. Let's end this on a fun note. I have added a few personas, added a bit of characteristics and character to my team, and I'm just going to ask them to say goodbye to everyone. There's the human resources person, there's the marketing guy, and I'm probably going to stop it here. I hope you all found this very interesting. There's just lots of untapped potential with AI that lots of folks haven't thought about. So I will see you next week with another project. Thanks for watching.